Hello book besties and welcome back to the channel. I'm so happy you're here. If you are new here, hello, welcome in. Thank you for clicking on the video. My name's Mariah, also Paging Moo, and welcome in. Today's video, I was thinking about what to do for bookmas and everything since we have that going on, and I've been in a little bit of a reading slump as well. So I'm trying to flip that around. So I thought I would do some like inspiration of books that are on my radar. So pretty much we are going to be doing winter book recs plus our winter TBR. Now I am literally surrounded by books right now. I know y'all see these two piles, but I have two on the floor, two next to me as well. So I am surrounded by books right now, which is honestly not bad. I'm enjoying it. We're going to start off with the winter book recommendations, books that I have read that I loved, books that give me that cozy vibe or fast-paced reads that will keep your attention during this cold season. Then we are going to move on to books that are on my radar for around like the next 3 months. Will I get to all these? No, absolutely not. Did I pull more books than I probably need? Yes, absolutely. But I am a girl. I need choices. And I'm indecisive at the same time. So I know it's like butting heads with each other, but it's just how I am. It's how I am. Don't blame me. Let's go ahead and get into it before I ramble some more. So here we go. We're going to start with the winter book recs. Books that I've read give that winter vibe or that I think are for like cozy, comfy reads. Now we have a little bit of everything in here, so just be patient, and I hope that you are able to take something from this video, a book recommendation, a book you love that we share together, you know, just something. Starting right off with my mystery books. This is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. This is just one of her most fast-paced books that I have ever read, and honestly I've read quite a few Frida McFadden books, I think like 6 or 7 of them by now, and nothing compares to The Housemaid. This was just such a great book to start off with. I mean, it's everything. It's fast-paced, it's entertaining. The plot twists in here, we're plot twisting. Now this is part of a 3-book series plus a novella, so if it's something you want to commit to, great. If you just want to read this one, it honestly won't kill anyone. You do not have to continue the series, only if you want to. I've read all 3 of them. I have the novella on my shelf to read. I love Millie. Now this is about Millie, who gets hired to be a housemaid. Okay, I don't want to tell you too much about it, but pretty much she's lucky enough to get this job, and weird stuff starts happening, and she's like and everything. So I'm not gonna give too much away. That's all I'm gonna tell you about it. But I finished this in like 2 days. It was that good, and I'm a slow reader, so like finishing a book in 2 days for me is a big deal. The Naturals. Okay, I actually just finished this back in October, I believe. Now this was great. It was so great. Basically what convinced me to read it was someone was like, this is YA Criminal Minds, and I love Criminal Minds so much, so I was like, ooh, okay. And I picked it up, and I do not regret it. As you can tell from the tabs, if you are able to see them, I did tab this a lot. It's exactly what it's described as, YA Criminal Minds. So basically you have Cassie, who is basically a natural, pretty much. The FBI has recruited these teens that have these natural abilities to assist them in cold cases. The storyline can be kind of slow, but the chapters are so entertaining you don't even notice that. But once you hit like a little over halfway through the book, things really start picking up and it gets crazy. And I remember I did a reading vlog on this. I was freaking out. Towards the end. I was like, oh my gosh, I still have this much left. Like, what's about to happen? Because we all know as readers, the last 100 pages or less get absolutely crazy in a book. So yes, I gave this, I think, 4 stars, so I think it's well worth it. I will be continuing this series as well. Verity by Colleen Hoover. Now I know everyone is very different with Colleen Hoover. That's fine. You either love her or you hate her. Listen, Verity is one of the best mystery thrillers I have ever read. It had my full attention, and I remember being so just immersed in this story that I was sitting like on a call with a friend, and I was like actually like mouth open, like covering my mouth, like everything, and they were like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I am not, because I need to finish this book. And I remember staying up until like 3-4 in the morning to finish this. It was so addicting. I've never read a Colleen Hoover like romance book, and I just don't want to. If it's not a mystery thriller from her, I don't want it at this point. This has spoiled me. And so because of that, I probably will never touch one of her romance books. But if she drops another mystery thriller, I'll pick that up. Okay, this one's a hot take, okay? The Silent Patient. I read this at the beginning of getting back into reading. I loved it at the time, okay? Is it the best mystery thriller that I've read? No. Was it great at the time that I read it? Yes, absolutely. Have I read better since then? Yes, and that's why I say it's hit or miss. You either love this one or you hate it, pretty much. The plot twist either gets you or you're like, what was that? And honestly, I'm so gullible with books that I just don't see even like the plainest things or anything like that. So for me, mystery thrillers are like the best because I never see the plot twist coming. So for this one, for sure, I didn't see coming. Other people said they did, and I'm like, what? How? But I don't care. I still recommend this. I feel like this is just a cozy winter day read where I cuddle up with this and I'm just chilling with it. And it is entertaining. I really liked it when I read it. Do I recommend it to people? Absolutely. I always, even if I DNF a book, I recommend it to others because you never know if you're gonna love that book. So yes, I recommend this, highly recommend it. It definitely gives those winter cold vibes, and once you read the story, you'll understand why. But yeah, I really thought I was gonna do a video and not include this. Like, come on. Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Listen, if you have not read Fourth Wing yet, get up right now and go buy it or pick it up off your shelf. I don't care. I don't care what book you're in the middle of right now. This is everything. This is my Roman Empire. I live, breathe, eat Fourth Wing. I am obsessed with this book. Listen, Dragon Writing Training School, Games and Trials, Enemies to Lovers, Shadow Daddy. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. It's amazing. I love it. That's all I'm going to say about it because I talk about Fourth Wing literally any chance I get. I pulled out the whole series for this. Listen. The Hunger Games series. Okay, this is just cozy, comfy read for me. This brings me back to high school, reading this entire series and seeing the movies slowly come out and being excited for it. Now, I will say Mockingjay is the one that gives me winter vibes the most. Hunger Games second, even though I'm pretty sure we get no winter in the Hunger Games, but it's just given that vibe. Now we do get a winter in Catching Fire. This does give me summer vibes, but listen, you might as well read the whole series. It's so addicting. I actually just finished rereading these. I'm gonna read Songbirds and Snakes soon, so listen, I mean, if you haven't seen the movies, you should read the books first. They're better. Now, if you have seen the movie, you should still read the books. They're better. So I won't go on about this because I feel like everyone knows about this series. Divine Rivals. Oh my gosh, I love this book so much. Now looking at this cover, it just gives winter vibes for me. I don't know if it's the blue or what. I know there's flowers on it and everything, but I just get winter vibes. And book 2 gives me even more winter vibes, but I haven't read book 2 yet. So but this story is just absolutely beautiful. I remember just cuddling up in bed to finish this. I love Iris and Rowan. Oh my gosh. This is just one of the best like introductions to fantasy as well, because I feel like it's not a huge fantasy world or anything. It's pretty normal, just with like some minor tweaks and stuff. But this just is a cozy, comfy vibe. I loved it. It is the love story in this, the found family in this. I have talked about this a lot too. It was one of my top reads. Like I love this. It's another one of those books where just it holds a special place in my heart. So I do recommend this. Now basically this is like rivals to lovers in a way. Like I said, found family. There is a war going on with the gods. and Iris's brother decides to go and fight in that war, and she's typing these letters to him on her typewriter, and she's putting them under her like dresser or whatever, and they go somewhere, but she doesn't know where until magically a letter arrives one night. And I'm just gonna say that for right now. But yeah, I love this book. I gave it 5 stars. Caraval by Stephanie Garber. Listen, okay, I'm not going to say anything about this in detail about this book because I truly believe you should go into it blind. I did not go into this blind. I listened to a lot of spoiler-free reviews, and honestly, just don't even do that. Don't. Please. I'm helping you. I promise. Go into this blind. It's going to be a way better experience. I give it 3.5 stars because I couldn't get fully immersed into it because of things I heard about it. So I'm telling you, just do that. It will be worth it. It will give you winter vibes. It's magical. It's fun. It's games and trials as well. 2 sisters. It's great. It is so great. I just couldn't get fully immersed in it, and that's what sucks about it. So, but the story is still great, and I'm still going to continue the series too. The Never King. Now, this is for my smutty dark romance girlies, okay? Because this is very, I mean, extreme, like extreme smut. If you like 90% smut and 10% plot, this book's going to be for you. It's a nice quick read as well for someone who's trying to finish their reading goal. But yeah, if you want like a quick, like just sit back, relax on a cold day, smutty read like this is a book. Haunting Adeline, okay? I don't know why this is like giving me winter vibes, but it definitely does. Now, this is not for the lighthearted. I will be honest with you. This was my first like dark romance book, and honestly did not bother me. I knew a lot going into it. The second book in this series was even darker. So if you're uncomfortable with this one when you first read it, please check your trigger warnings as well for any of these books that I say are dark. If you are uncomfortable in this book, I advise not going on to book 2. Honestly, it's gonna make you even more uncomfortable. It's dark, but the storyline is so good. It is one of those books where like it was so dark and messed up, but I couldn't put it down, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I don't regret it at all. I liked it. It was my first dark romance book. It does hold a place in my heart. It always will. I don't know. I just feel like this gives that like wintry vibe. Like the cover just says like, read me during the winter. Wretched by Emily McIntyre. Okay, so I've read the first 3 books in the Never After series. Now this cover does give me winter vibes, you know. It looks like an ice heart like breaking. So, you know, I do think this is one of those cozy comfy reads with a badass FMC. Like Evelina is just such a badass, and I love her character. I love her personality. I wish I was more like her. The storyline in this is just great. The love interests, like the tension between them is just so on point. Emily McIntyre just really knows how to write a romance for me. I eat them up. Scarred is my favorite book out of this series so far that I've read. It is not included in the recommendations, but I will give it a feature right now. I do think it gives more like summer vibes and everything, but I ate it up. It was so good. It was enemies to lovers. This is kind of enemies to lovers too, by the way, but it's mafia enemies to lovers. It is so good. It is so much fun. It did have some parts where I was like, ooh, so check your trigger warnings on that. I got past them. They're more like gore. Yeah, so yeah. Archer's Voice, oh my gosh. Listen, this is just a cozy romance that you can just sit down and read. I loved it so much. These characters hold a special place in my heart. I love this story. I recommend it all the time to people as like, this is the book. If you want to feel true love, I feel like this book just is the definition of true love. And that's why I love it so much. Now you have Archer and Bree. Bree has a troubled past that she's running away from. Archer as well has a troubled past that he just kind of isolated himself from the world because of. And she comes to town and everything for a fresh start and meets him and is immediately like, I want to get to know you. And so it kind of goes from there. There is some heartbreaking moments in this, and I mean heartbreaking. I did not cry during this book, but I know lots of people did, and it can be an emotional roller coaster, but this story is so beautiful and I just love it so much. I'm actually debating doing a reread of this and then a reread of Scarred as well, just because it's just comfort reads for me at this point, and I kind of just need to go back to it. And this is just one of those where when I think about it, I smile and I'm like, wow, what a great book. Okay, listen, we're giving a shout out to my queen right now. Allie Hazelwood, okay? I discovered Allie Hazelwood a couple months ago, and I love her. I love her. Give me all of her books. I actually just got a new book of hers. The Love Hypothesis is getting a collector's edition. I already pre-ordered it. I don't care. I don't care. If she writes it, I'm going to read it now. Okay? Now, I have The Love Hypothesis, which gives the most, like, winter vibes, in my opinion. Now, it is about Olive, who is, like, a student at this grad school and everything. Yeah, she's in her 3rd year for PhD. Okay, sorry, I couldn't remember that part. Okay, it's fake dating. Basically, she is trying to convince one of her friends that she does not care about her ex because that friend and ex are into each other, and she was never really into the ex, by the way. So don't let that put you off, okay? But it's, you just know fake dating is so good, and it is a grumpy sunshine, and oh my gosh, I ate it up. I love this. This was my introduction to Allie Hazelwood too. I gave it 4 stars, and I was immediately like, yes, give me more. Then I picked up Checkmate, and oh my gosh, 4.5 stars is what I gave this book. I ate it up. It is a chess romance. I know nothing about chess, but all I know is that I was addicted to Mallory. Okay, Mallory and Nolan. Oh, ooh, Nolan. Oh man. Chess romance, rivals to lovers. It is so good. Basically, Mallory has given up chess. She does not want to play it anymore, but her friend needs her, so for this like charity tournament or whatever. So she agrees, you know, and she's like, okay, whatever, I'll do it. Nolan is the #1 chess player in the world, okay? And he's playing against Mallory at this tournament, and she beats him. And it goes from there. I'm not going to tell you more. Not going to tell you more. I feel like I kind of like said a lot already. Oh, it's on the back of the book. I don't even care. If it's on the back of the book, I feel like it's acceptable to say. I still think this is amazing. Like, I read the back of the book. Like, even if you go into it blind, oh man, it's amazing. It's just, go read it. Go read it. Allie Hazelwood is just something else with rom-coms. She just knows how to write a rom-com. I also listened to her audiobook, Two Can Play, and even that, I was like, mwah. It's so, she's just, it's perfection. She's killing it, and I will forever read anything she publishes. She's one of my auto-buy authors. Did you think I was gonna do a winter book rec without recommending hockey romances? Icebound by Meredith Trapp. Oh my gosh. I was scared picking this up because I was like, oh my gosh, I've never heard of this book before. Am I gonna like it? I don't regret it at all. I'm pretty sure I gave this like 4 stars. It's such a cute rom-com. It does have some cringy parts, but I really don't mind the cringe. Like, I feel like that's what makes a rom-com a rom-com. Like, oh my gosh, so this was great. And I know that she dropped book 2, which is kind of more like a western romance, so I'm curious about that. But this was so great. This is fake dating, age gap. Basically, you have Rhodes, who is a hockey player, and then we have Nina, who is a student still. She's finishing up her final year of college. Basically, something happens, they run into each other, and in order to help his career, he asks her to like fake date her because some stuff happens and everything. I don't want to say too much about this one because it can kind of give away some of the like plot for this for sure if I go into detail about this. It's definitely a cozy read. Like, I read this pretty quickly as well. It is like 300 and something pages, but honestly for a romance book, that's not bad at all. I enjoyed it. And if you thought I wasn't going to include Icebreaker on this, you got me messed up. Your girl's got 2 special editions of it. Okay, I got the collector's edition and a special edition. I got the regular cover as well. I am going for the hunt for the probably smut version. Listen, I don't care what people say about Icebreaker. I loved it, okay? Don't care. Don't care. Say what you want. Say what you want, but I don't care. Anastasia, absolutely beautiful. Feisty, love her. Nate, oh my gosh, such a cinnamon roll, top boyfriend. Love, love, love it. This is kind of, I don't want to say enemies to lovers, but our rivals to lovers. It's kind of like a dislike to like, dislike to love, whatever you want to say, romance. So basically we have Nate, who's on the hockey team. He's the captain. Anastasia is a figure skater, and she's going for like it all this year in the competition. Like, she's like, this is what's going to take me and make my career and everything. Basically, stuff happens to where they have to share a rink for practices and everything. She is not happy about that either, because she wants all the time on the ice, and now because of this she has to split her time. So a lot happens in this. I will say one of my most hated characters, oh my gosh, one of my most hated characters is in this book. And if you know, you know. If you know, you know. But it's great. It's a cute little hockey romance. I loved it. It is spicy. It is spicy, but the spice in this is so, so good. I ate it up. And while we're at it, let's just keep the ball rolling. You either love or you hate this. Twisted Love. Okay, listen. I loved it. I loved it. I know some people are like, what? And then they're like, oh, Twisted Games is so much better. Alex and Ava are everything to me. They hold a special place in my heart. Not as much as Josh and Jules does, but listen, this storyline is just so elaborate that I didn't see like the plot twist coming in this. And it actually, it messed me up, okay? I know some people didn't like it, but I really did. Ava is just, oh my gosh, I have never wanted to hug a book character more, and she's one of those book characters that I wish I knew in real life, where I could be friends with her and I could just hug her and be there for her. Alex is a grumpy man in this, you know. This is like one of those like grumpy sunshine. He's like a CEO, you know, millionaire, da 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 da. Brothers, best friends. Oh my God, I ate that up. When I heard brother best friend, I immediately like want to pick up the book. That's one of my favorite tropes. But basically you follow them. Ava's brother leaves for a trip for his degree that he's working on, and he asks Alex to watch Ava while he's gone, and you can already tell what's gonna happen from there. It's not good. It's trouble. It is trouble. Go read it. It's fun. Okay, now this is kind of, if you're like in like an emotional, like need a good cry, like kind of sad mood and everything like that, I have Girl in Pieces. This book is dark. Definitely check your trigger warnings on this for sure. I will probably not be picking up another Kathleen Glasgow book, because I was in a dark place when I read this, and I remember this just fucked me up. And I was like, whoa. Afterwards, and I was like, I never want to go back there again. But some other people really like these kind of books, like books that are emotional, that are real, and that's the problem. This was way too real for me. I was like, oh my God. Basically we follow Charlotte, who is in pieces. She has just left like this facility. She's starting life all over. I will say what I loved about this is like, it's like a second chance of life. And I really love that. But I mean, check your trigger warnings. This is a dark story. I don't want to tell you too much about it. You should look into it yourself and do your research to make sure you want to read this. But it's definitely one of those like winter vibes. Like if you just need a good cry, if you need to be reminded that like there is hope after everything is crashing down around you, this is the book. Layla by Colleen Hoover. Listen, this is kind of a romance, but not really. Hear me out, okay? It's kind of a mystery. Sue me. I think it's more of a mystery than a love story. Okay, so basically we have Leeds and Layla, and they are pretty much just working on getting Layla back to normal after certain events happened and everything. But once they arrive to their destination, some stuff happens and everything, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I got pretty frustrated with the main male character in this, and it's all explained why pretty much when you read it. I don't want to tell you too much more, but basically some stuff starts happening. It's pretty weird, and we're like, what? Yeah. It creeped me out for a little bit, but it was so good. And like I said, Colleen Hoover, just with mystery thriller books, it's just something different for me. So this was like angry frustration, but like so like terrifying. It's not terrifying, but I remember being like a little creeped out by it all. Never Lie by Frida McFadden. Okay, so basically this one is set during the winter, so it's perfect for the winter. This is one of her best books. If I was going to say like The Housemaid is #1, Never Lie is definitely #2, right under or right above The Teacher. The Teacher is #3 for me. But basically, what's the main characters? Trisha and Ethan, okay? So basically, they're gonna go see this house that they're like trying to potentially buy. And when they get there, they get snowed in. Like there's just no way to leave or anything. There's a snowstorm going on. The realtor is not there when they arrive. So they are stuck in this house of this previous psychologist who has went missing as well. And so that's pretty much the story. They do find like her like tapes, and the coolest part is that you get to like listen to the tapes while reading this. And I guess not listen. I listened to it on audiobook, so it was better for me that way. But I mean, still, it's like the tapes, like you get to read the tapes and everything, and that's the coolest part about this. And like the plot twist in this, I didn't see coming either. Like I said, I am a complete idiot when it comes to plot twists, but this is so good. Frida McFadden with mystery thrillers honestly is just something else. Listen, I don't care what you say, Harry Potter can be read any time of the year, okay? And if you have not read a Harry Potter book yet, I highly suggest it. I have only read the first book, and I love the first book, so I highly recommend reading the first book. I am continuing it, of course. I just haven't picked it up yet, but it's one that I just loved, and like I said, the books are way better than the movie. Oh my gosh, you get way more details. You get this character connection. You get to see the friendship grow more, because there's just some details that are left out from the movie. So I love this found family aspect. I love this book. I love this story. I've not finished the movies, by the way. And I won't until I finish reading the book series. It's just how it is at this point. I just want to read the books. Hooked by Emily McIntyre, okay? It's giving me winter vibes. Like, you cannot tell me this does not give you winter vibes, and you cannot tell me this does not give you winter vibes either. Oh, can we take a moment? I just got this. This just got released, so it's so beautiful. But basically, Hooked is a Peter Pan retelling. Emily McIntyre, like I said, just knows how to write a romance. Now, out of the 3 that I've read by her, Hooked was probably my least favorite. With that being said, it was my least favorite, and it still got like 4.5 stars. It's still so good. Like I said, her writing is just amazing. Like, I loved it. Wendy in this is just so great. And the little Easter eggs that you get from like your childhood movies and everything is great. I love the references and everything in every single one of them. And so, yeah, I'm not going to say too much. Basically, Peter Pan retelling. What more do you need to know? It's fun. I loved it. Okay, and then our last book recommendation, okay? God of Malice. Did I have to grab both copies? Yes, I did. Okay, listen, if I have 2 copies, I'm going to show them off. This one has sprayed edges. This one has the coolest cover ever. Basically, the reason why I recommend this for the winter is this is just a fast-paced, like dark romance book. I was addicted to this. I read this in a couple of days as well, which is a rare thing for me to do, and I just loved each and every moment of this. I feel like you can cuddle up and just really immerse yourself into this book. Now, basically, we have Killian, which is just, Killian's known for his book. And then we have, oh my gosh, what is it? Gwendolyn or something like that? Glendon or something like that. I actually don't know how to say her name, and I'm butchering it right now talking about it. But basically, like, the beginning of this book is absolutely crazy. If you've heard anything about this book, I'm sure you've heard about the beginning of this book. I'm not going to tell you anything about this. It's messed up as well. Check your trigger warnings. I'm not even going to lie. It's not as dark as Hunting Adeline, but I mean, there's different things that go on in these books. Yeah, have fun. Okay, and that is all of our book recommendations. We are going to move on to my winter TBR now. Okay, so we're gonna start with my December TBR. I did a TBR video. If you want to go and check it out, I would love, love, love that. We blindly chose our December TBR. Woo. These were the 6 books I drew, so these are definitely on my radar to read this winter, and by winter I mean this month. Magnolia Parks, this I'm just having really bad FOMO, okay? Listen, everyone either loves or hates this book, and I need to know where I stand with it because I think I'm gonna love it, and everyone who does love it is obsessed with it. So I need to pick it up. I need to read it. That's why it's like one of my priority reads, and I'm glad I finally pulled it for the December TBR to know, like, what am I gonna feel about it. Then we have The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I have yet to read a Lauren Asher book, but I heard that this is like romance Disneyland, so it quickly became on my radar, and I'm excited for this one. And I think this one has like an amusement park involved in it. It's really on my radar right now. It's like one of the books I really, really like top read, like want to read this month. But not before Iron Flame. Okay, listen, I have been putting this book off, and I cannot believe I pulled it for the December TBR. I just could not believe it. I've been saving this for December. It was going to get read in December regardless because Onyx Storm comes out in January, and so we have to read this. The Fourth Wing is my Roman Empire, and I just know I'm gonna love this. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Iron Flame isn't as good. It's gonna be a 5-book series. There's gonna be, the second book is sometimes not the best. The third book is sometimes not the best, but I don't care. I have to know what happens, you know? So my friend Haley read this actually. After I made her read Fourth Wing, she went straight into Iron Flame, and she was like, you're gonna love it. Don't listen to everyone else, just listen to me. She's like, you're gonna love this. So this is like my next read. Like, I need this in my life. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. That's right, I drew this in my December TBR as well. I am one lucky girl. My December TBR did me right this time, and I may blindly pick it more often. Okay, listen, this is the 4th book in the Hunger Games series. That's why I reread the first 3, because I was like, oh, new book came out, we're gonna read this, okay? And then Haymitch's story comes out next year. I've already pre-ordered it. It's like Rise of the Sunrise or something like that. I don't remember. All I know is she announced it, and I immediately just pre-ordered it. Haven't looked at it since then, but I'm reading this, and then we're gonna get Haymitch's story. I love the Hunger Games so much, so I just know like a different version of it is gonna be so nice. Literally, Susan Collins could write one. She could write a book for every single, like, the first Hunger Games, second, third, and I would buy every single one. I would. Next we have Rock, Paper, Scissors. Now I am excited for this one. This one just screams winter. It just does. It really does. Now this is a mystery thriller, and I heard that the main character in this suffers from like a blindness defect. I heard like reading from his perspective like really is like eye-opening, and it really is entertaining. I'm excited for this. It gives it like that eerie feeling and everything. I don't know much about this book except for that, and I'm gonna keep it like that because I just feel like mystery thrillers are just better that way, and so I'm kind of going into this somewhat blind. A Series of Unfortunate Events. Okay, so basically this is a short little read. I remember watching this movie with my sisters growing up and everything. We loved it, and so I was like, oh, let's pick up the book series. Like, it's kind of just reminiscence of like my childhood. They're short. It's like 100 and something pages. It's small. It's cute. I just know I'm gonna love this book series just as much as I loved the movie when it came out, you know? Okay, so now we're gonna do the books that are not on my TBR, but they are on my radar for this winter season. Will I read them all? No, probably not. Sorry, it's just how it is. I'm a slow reader, so just getting about like 6 books is my average usually. I am in a bit of a reading slump right now, So that's not helping. So I'm hoping that like a lot of these get me excited and motivated to like pick them up this winter, because I'm not leaving the house unless it's just for work. It's too cold outside. I hate the cold. Okay, so we have A Merry Little Meet Cute. This was wrote by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. I actually got to meet them both at a like book signing event that I went to back in September. It was absolutely amazing. They were so, so sweet. But while I was there, I did grab this because they were on tour for their newest, I think the third book in this series. So I was like, oh, well, I would love to have both of their signatures, so I did grab it for that reason. But I mean, it's a cute winter book. Like, I'm excited. I know nothing about this, but I just know I want to get some like Christmassy winter books in this season. Nightbane. Okay, listen, I read Lightlark back in October, and I remember staying up till 4 a.m. in one sitting reading that book, and I looked up at the clock and was like, oh my gosh, it's 4 in the morning. And I still had like 70 pages left. So the very next day, as soon as I woke up, I picked it up, finished it. Oh my gosh, I gave it like 4.25 stars. I loved Issa. I love Grimm. So Skyshade came out. It is on my shelf as well. I did grab it. Sue me. But I need to read Nightbane. It is one of those books where it's on my radar hard right now. And I can't wait. I cannot wait. I don't know like what this is gonna turn out to be, pretty much, because I know like things are gonna get real in this. And I heard like Grimm is like the king of who did this to you in this. So I am so excited, and I am team Grimm all the way. One of my friends is team Orr, and it's so hard, but I'm team Grimm. Heartless by Elsie Silver. I know this is like cowboy romances and stuff like that, and like cowboy romances are usually like summer vibes, but this is just giving me a winter vibe. I know it's Grumpy Sunshine, and I heard Willa just makes this book, but I heard that Kate is like the ultimate like grumpy man. So this is like a great Grumpy Sunshine like vibe, and I'm just loving it. Single Dad Ex Nanny. How My Neighbor Stole Christmas from Megan Quinn. I know nothing about this really. I just know another Christmas book, and honestly, you use a play on words with How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I'm grabbing it. Like, I'm hoping this is like a Grumpy Sunshine vibe too. Now it is a little thick, but I don't even care, because I heard he does something with a candy cane and I need to know what it is. Fragile Sanctuary by Catherine Cowles. Now I was lucky enough, this got a new cover, I believe is what it was. So she gave me an advance copy of the cover before it came out at the book signing. So that was like super duper sweet of her, and she even like signed it for me and everything. But this just is giving, the colors on it is giving me winter vibes. I know it's probably not set during the winter or anything like that. It's probably set during the summer if anything, but it's just giving me those vibes. I know nothing about this, so I'm going into this pretty much blind. The Sinner's Duet. Okay, now this is both books in one, which honestly is not too bad. I may just sit and binge this one day. But basically I think it's like a stalker romance and everything, and so, you know, Sophie Lark, love Sophie Lark. So I am looking forward to this, and it's like one of those dark romances that I just feel like I'm going to really love. It's one of those that I feel like I'm going to curl up literally in this chair and just sit here and just put on Buffy the Vampire Slayer on my tablet and just sit here and just immerse myself. And there's character art in here, oh my gosh. So yeah, I'm excited. If you're judging me right now, I want to hear it. I want to hear it. Credence by Penelope Douglas. Listen, I need to know. I need to know. People seem to either love or hate this. I need to know. I need to know where I stand on the step uncle and step cousins. Yeah, if you don't know, I'm not going to tell you. Basically, if you know what this book is about, you know what this is about. Yeah. But doesn't it give you like winter vibes? Kind of like creepy winter vibes? The cover, it's not my favorite cover, but Grew Up by Penelope Douglas as well. Listen, just Penelope Douglas is just giving me winter vibes. She's on my radar. I have yet to read a Penelope Douglas book, and I want to, because a lot of people love her books and everything. I heard the Devil's Night series, one of her most popular. I saw a Punk 57 and Birthday Girl to read too, but Credence and Corrupt are just on my radar right now. Corrupt really is like the #1 on my radar right now, because I actually watched like a winter book rec No, it was a November wrap up. And she talked about this series, and I was like, ooh, I really need to get to it. So this is like on my radar as like the Penelope Douglas book that I want to get to. Mr. Fixer Upper by Lucy Score. Listen, it's just giving me winter vibes. I just feel like this is giving like small town, country, cozy, like out in the woods kind of vibes. And I think this is kind of like not an enemies to lovers, but I think someone comes to town and he's like kind of grumpy about it and everything. I don't know much about it as well. I just bought this at a used like bookstore pretty much. It was in great condition, so I snagged it. The Christmas Fix. I know nothing about this. Don't know anything about it, but Christmas book. So we did put it on the TBR. I am looking forward to all the Christmas and winter like vibey reads this year. I did not read Christmas books last year, so I'm really trying to like put them on my radar. Good Girl Bad Blood. This series is so good so far. I've only read the first book. This is the second book in the series. Holly Jackson just has never let me down. I've read 2 of her books. Yeah, 2 of her books so far, and just if I love 2 of your books, it's just it seals it for me. Like, I must really like you. And if it's 3, if you go 3 for 3, then it's done for you. You become one of my like auto buy authors. Frida McFadden, Allie Hazelwood, Anna Hong, like those are just a few. But yes, so this is just one of those that I know I'm gonna like sit down and really try to binge, because I didn't binge the first book and I regretted that. So I know this one I'm just going to be cozy, cuddled up, reading it, binging it, putting on, like I said, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Don't judge me. I just know this is going to be one of those good ones that I'm just going to like get all comfy and read. Same thing with the Killer Instinct. This is one of those, just it's the second book in the Natural series. I just know I'm going to eat this up. I'm going to devour it. So it's just one of those that I know I'm just going to sit down and really just binge this and really enjoy this book series. Shatter Me. And did I buy the collector's edition before I read the book? Yes. I'm just a girl. Listen, it literally says I spent my life folded between the pages of books. Like, how could I not? How could I not get that? How could I not? People have either really enjoyed this series, or they've just like read a couple of them and then been like, okay, I'm not going to continue this. And this is just giving me winter vibes. Like, you can't tell me this cover does not give me winter vibes. Like, it just does. And so I just know this is like supposedly a really addicting, like fast-paced read, and that I should be able to like really enjoy this series. Am I pulling out another? Yes. Okay, listen, God of Pain by Rena Kent. Okay, it's the second book to the the Legacy of God series. I showed y'all God of Malice earlier. Yes, we did get this one in already with the purple edges. I was ecstatic about that. But God of Pain is the second book in this. It does follow a couple that I really looked forward to their story, and I just haven't had time to pick this up yet, but it is on my radar, and I just feel like I'm really gonna love this one. Obsidian. Listen, this is on my TBR because one of my best friend Haley recommended it. She really loved it, and she's like, the writing is so good, the storyline's so good, and she told me I would like it, so I was like, okay, you know what? I'll put it on the winter TBR. Plus the sprayed edges, like hello. Then we have Night of the Witch. I really don't know much about this, except for, of course, it has a witch in it. But this is just giving me like another, like, I'm really hitting like fantasy books right now and everything. So it's just giving me like one of those cozy fantasy book vibes that I'm really gonna like. And there's something about witches lately that I'm like, ooh, a witchy book kind of sounds good. I know that's probably more like fall, like Halloween kind of vibes, but I'm just feeling it in the winter right now. I'm a little late. I gotta read a hockey romance during the winter. You just gotta. It's that time of year, you know? So I got pucked here, and I actually know nothing about it except for like, I think it's a one-night stand and everything, and then some stuff happens. So I really don't know much about it except for that, but I saw the sprayed edges at the store and I immediately just picked it up and was like, I'm getting this. So The Games Gods Play. Okay, this was actually part of a Black Friday sale purchase, and it was definitely worth it. Now, this hasn't become very viral right now, but I do believe this is going to be like one of the next viral books. This is Games Trials, the gods and everything, kind of like a different tell on them, and like pretty much a competition to see who's going to take the throne and rule for, I don't know how much time or anything like that, but I just know like Hades is like the main character in here, and I saw this artwork in it and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so gorgeous. Okay, and we have Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. I have a friend who introduced me to Brandon Sanderson. I did read Tress of the Emerald Sea, and they've just been on me to continue reading Brandon Sanderson, so I did pick up Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. I don't really know what it's about. Same thing with Miss Bloom, which is also on my radar for this winter as well. I don't know what either of them are about, just that they're Brandon Sanderson, and Matt will really appreciate this. So here you go, Matt. A lot of y'all have been asking for this, and that's Binding 13, and yes, it is on my radar for not only the winter TBR, but to read the entire series in 2025 as well. It's one of the series that I am really hopeful to get to, so I will be picking this up. I know this is going to be an emotional journey for me. Yes, did I buy another book before I read it? Yes, 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 I did. Okay, listen, I am just a girl, but you cannot tell me this is not a stunning collector's editions. It just is. So we have If He Had Been With Me. This is going to be like one of these books that like I pick up when I'm kind of down and just need a good cry, because I know this is going to break my heart. I know this is like childhood friends to lovers, I think, but maybe not friends to lovers, because it's If He Had Been With Me. I know there is a second book that's from like his POV, so I think this is just really gonna fuck me up and make me sad. Not even gonna lie. Phantasma. Yes, I know I'm behind. Everyone read this in October, okay? I didn't have it, okay? I didn't have it, okay? But now I do. So still feel like it's gonna be one of those good, cozy, like winter vibe books where I like cuddle up in my chair and I'm just like going to immerse myself. I did hear this is like Caraval, so I am not gonna know anything else about this. I'm going to go into this blind. Literally, I am not going to mess up with this like I did Caraval. We have Ruthless Vows. I did talk about Divine Rivals earlier. I am ready to close out this duology. I need to. This book just screams winter. Read me during the winter, and I plan on it. I really do. I'm ready to finish Iris's and Rowan's story and know what officially happens to them, and just kind of close this chapter of this story. Pretty much, it's gonna be sad. I know I'm gonna be emotional when I finish it. I'm gonna be like, there's nothing left, but I'm very hopeful for this. I know this one is hit or miss for people. You either love it or hate it, kind of like Iron Flame, but I just have a feeling I'm gonna love it because it's going to be closing out all my like questions and unanswered thoughts. Then we have One Dark Window. I don't know why this is like on my winter radar, but it really is. I keep meaning to pick this book up because everyone says the magic system in this is really cool, and I am starting to hit like my fantasy era and everything. I've really been picking up fantasy books, so this is just really on my radar right now. It's just giving like one of those like cold days like reading and everything. I don't know. So yeah, The Serpents and the Wings of Night. Okay, listen, Games and Trials, vampires. Haven't read a vampire book yet, but we know how I feel about Games and Trials. I don't really know anything except for I believe she's not a vampire, everyone else is, and she gets thrown into this, so we'll see. I don't know much about it, but I heard it is absolutely amazing, and I want to know what the hype is about because everyone talks about this and the second book. And I think the third book just recently came out in the series. So, Love in Other Words. I know this doesn't really give winter vibes, but to me, I feel like I'm going to end up picking it up this winter. A lot of people love this book. I don't know anything about it except for I believe it's a second chance, like friends to lovers, romance, and that's about all I know. So I'm hopeful for it because a lot of book talkers recommend this book, and I trust my loyal book talkers that I watch. Charming Devil. I actually got this as an ARC. It doesn't come out until January, so I really want to get to this in December, honestly. I don't know anything about it. Cover's just giving me like cozy winter vibes, like just sitting down in bed and reading this, and I think I'm really hoping it's a dark romance is what I'm hoping for. So yeah, I'm very lucky. I got this from the book signing event. They were giving out a couple ARCs in your goodie bag, so I got lucky and got this one. The Cruel Prince. Now I know so many of y'all have commented on my most recent short, not my most recent, but I did like strong FMC's book recommendations, and so many people comment on that short and was like, have you read The Cruel Prince yet? And so I was actually asked to do a reading vlog on this as well. So this is like really on my radar. The entire series is. I will be doing that. I'm looking forward to this. I don't know much about it except for I believe it's enemies to lovers, and it's supposed to have a badass FMC, so I'm about it. Still beating. This is one that I'm scared of, but everyone has hyped this book up and said that it is like 1000% worth it. It is going to be an emotional roller coaster, I've heard. And I really don't know much about it at all. I have heard bits and pieces about it, but that's about it. But I think it's like another dark romance kind of book, so I am looking forward to this and like getting immersed in this story. Then I have Not Without You. This cover just is giving me winter vibes as well. This is an ARC. I was very lucky to be gifted this from the author. This is like Bodyguard romance, so I'm excited for that. I love, like I said, the Twisted series. Love Twisted Games is bodyguard romance as well. Bodyguard princess. I don't think it's a princess, but it's definitely a bodyguard, and I don't know what else, but it is on my radar. I really want to read this because I just love a good romance book. We have The Santa Suit. Now this is just a cute small book I know nothing about, but it is a Christmas book, and like I said, I want to read as many Christmas books as I can. I also have The Holiday Switch. Now, I actually found this at Barnes & Noble. I just saw the cover and I was like, this just looks like it's going to be cute. So that's the reason why I got this. It is another short little read that I feel like I can get through pretty fast and maybe read in one sitting. We have Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This is just giving me winter vibes. Like, come on. And like I said, Ali Hazelwood, she does not do me wrong, so I just know I'm going to absolutely love this. It's werewolf and vampires, and like I said, I have not read either kind of those books, so I'm excited. I'm so excited, as long as it's not like Twilight. Please don't be like Twilight. If I want to read Twilight, I'll read Twilight. Frigid. Now this has already came out. I did get the ARC for it, so I don't have the sprayed edges like the actual publishing one that came out, but still, this is like a romance book, and this author I've seen in a lot of fantasy books but never a romance book, so I'm very curious on how their romance books are. So it's really on my radar. It's, I believe, like set in a cabin or something like that. I really don't know, don't hold me to that actually, but yeah. Haley, if you're watching this, just know it's coming. It's coming. A Court of Thorns and Roses. Listen, I'm getting there, okay? I am getting there. It's definitely one I've been putting off for winter because it's just giving me that winter vibes. I think it's how the story starts out that's really giving me the winter vibes. So yes, I am getting there. I don't know much about it. I just know Haley is on me about reading this book. She's like, just get through the first one. The rest of the series is absolutely amazing. So I will be doing a reading vlog on this as well. So stay tuned for that in the future. A Love Letter to Whiskey. Now listen, I know this is probably one of the most frustrating books people have read. This is like right person, wrong time book, and I heard it's going to rip me to pieces, so it's definitely going to be put off as a when I need a good cry book because it's also kind of thick, but I just know everyone says it's absolutely worth it, so I am looking forward to this a lot. One Ali Hazelwood book? Absolutely not. We got two. We got Not in Love, okay? Listen, I wasn't sure if I should read this or Love Theoretically next, but you know what? We're just doing it. They're not connected, so we're just doing it. Never lets me down. This is probably the one that I am looking forward to like the most. Like it is like I'm ready to jump into this. Heartless Hunter, also known as the Crimson Moth. This is witch hunter and witch fake dating, all that, and it's just ooh, I just know I'm gonna love it. Everyone who has read it loves it, and so I'm just ready. I'm ready to dive into this book. Like I have Iron Flame and this, and they're both like I'm like, ooh, I want them both right now. So yeah, like this is just high on my radar. I will be getting to this so soon, I promise you. Hockey romance, duh. Canadian Boyfriend, like I know nothing about this, but like it's a hockey romance, duh. It's going on the winter TBR. It seems really cute. I believe it's fake dating as well, and I'm a sucker for fake dating, so. Okay, we have two more, just two more, guys. Okay, so we have How Does It Feel? I know nothing about this at all. I just know a booktuber was, or a book talker was talking about this and how amazing it was. It was a 5-star read, and I had the opportunity to meet this author and get it signed, so I was like, yes, I'm gonna grab it. But it's just giving me kind of like a cozy, like cuddle up inside all nice and warm on a snowy day, like, and read it. So I am looking forward to this. I think this is another like fantasy book anyways, so you know, I'm trying to really go into books blind and like really immerse myself and see how I feel about it rather than like knowing little pieces, because I feel like sometimes when you know little pieces about it, you're like, that's probably not my vibe, and you kind of just leave a book on the shelf for a while and then you pick it up and you're like, why did I wait so long? And lastly, we have The Deal by Elle Kennedy, another hockey romance that my friend is on me about reading, but I just know this one's gonna be so much fun. This is fake dating as well. Come on, like, let's go. I love fake dating, but I do regret not getting the rest of the series in this because I don't think they sell them like this anymore. So I'm gonna have to be hunting now for the rest of the series with the sprayed edges. So I'm excited for this entire series in general. I think this is just going to be so good, so fun, and everyone seems to love this series and the spin-off series as well. Is everything. I know this was a longer video. I am so sorry. I hope you took something out of this video though, whether it be like a mutual book we share, a book recommendation, one that you're going to love, something. Thank you also so much for hanging out during this as well. If you made it to the end of the video, please drop a snowflake emoji in the comments. I really do appreciate it. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Drop a like if you really enjoyed this. It'll let me know that y'all want to see more like book recommendations / TBR videos in the future as well. But yes, thank you all so much for hanging out with me today during this. I hope y'all have a wonderful winter month of reading and that you get through your TBR, because I probably won't. Okay, bye.